And we are live. How's it going, everyone? My name is Rick Ramirez. I'm also known as Ricks2Cents. Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Hey, y'all.
Andy Bird from AndyBirdBuilds.
Hello.
And Roger from Roger Shop.
Howdy, howdy.
Looks like we got quite a few comments already. It was pretty lively before we even went live. So,
well, I came in about 5 after, and there were a bunch already. So,
yeah, I saw.
Nice.
Doug says, "Good evening from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I received the laser I won a few weeks ago, set up and running. Congratulations,
awesome.
Doug. Congratulations." Oh, we lost Andy. Andy's traveling right now. He's in the Holiday Inn. So he said he may jump in and out. So if we lose him, here you go.
He's
had him.
Yeah, I'm here.
And he said, "The only problem I found is that XS's stepper motor gets hot. Thanks again for doing the community. It's hot.
Belt's too tight, maybe. You can, if you're, well, maybe too much for a newbie, but you can mess around with the current settings on the stepper motor.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. It was working perfectly fine. I would go with maybe the belts are just a little too tight. To be honest with you, when I took that apart, I max taped the screws off exactly where they were, and I had the tensions on the belt and all that already kind of dialed in. So I don't know if you readjusted them, maybe you adjusted them too tight, but it should have been pretty much good to go right out of box. I didn't even take I left as much together as possible to make it just easy, hit the ground running, so to speak.
Or if the eccentric happens to be set too tight and the rollers are grabbing too tight, that'll heat it up.
Yeah, that could be too. Extra dry.
Aloha from Hawaii, everyone. Please smash that like button. Thank you.
Please there's some chat there on whether Clayton should be our PR guy. He's clearly looking for a job. There's nothing to do in Hawaii but go to the beach, right?
Thank you, Clayton. Oh, he keeps smashing and telling everyone to do it. That's cool. Yeah, so I wanted to bring something up to the group collectively. We kind of talked as we were offline, but we had said that there's a generational change that we have noticed, right? And it's almost like I guess I'm speaking for myself. I was kind of raised old school. My father was a carpenter. I grew up swinging a hammer, but I went into IT, became a lineman, full circle. Whatever. But the point is that I grew up kind of getting dirty out on the farm. That's just the thing. And I think that nowadays kids, they have this intention. You have to go to college to make a good career. You have to go to college to make a good financial, providing for your family. And that's not always the truth, right? And I think that even if that is the case, I think we collectively do okay, right? But there's a side hustle for a reason. And sometimes it's just literally for a side hustle. Sometimes it's just for a passion. But I'm noticing a difference in, like I was saying, with these age groups, and that on our lives, they tend to be someone right around our age. And on the reviews, or actually after it's not, they tend to be a younger age. And I wasn't sure if that's because they can kind of skip through and maybe, find certain topics they're interested in, or what that may be. But if you don't mind, I would just like to ask our audience here, where you're from, and if you don't mind, share your age so we can kind of see the group that we're talking to. And also, why are you joining us today? Are you interested in learning about lasers, CNCs, 3D printers, or just come to hang out, right? Because this is Shop Talk Live on Wednesday. It's Happy Hump Day. Let us know why you're here. So it looks like hello from Westville, Ohio.
Jack is back.
Good evening, everyone. So I forget the name of the person, but they said they were going to sign up for your course, Andy. Did they end up signing up, or you weren't sure?
I'm not sure. Okay.
Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. It's almost Friday.
Yeah.
You got to retire, man. Every day's Friday. Every day's Saturday. Any day you want, really.
UK said 54. It's 12:34 a.m. It's almost 1 a.m. and he's joining us. Thank you.
There's dedication. We like that.
Yeah, Australia's like one of those too. Yeah.
There's your neighbor, Roger Ford.
Yeah,
from
close by.
47, Kentucky, love woodworking. 55, Texas.
So, looks like someone at John from Sonora, Kentucky. That's not too far from me.
Okay.
Sounds like an opportunity to have a coffee.
Right?
Or is it?
Give
Or
me
is
half
it?
your money and I'll
is not-
retire.
You know, not too far is a relative term, right? So
Right.
could be,
Right.
you could be 3 hours away.
Yeah, you got to be careful on the internet, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah, look me up, John.
Sweet. Yeah, that's cool. 56 Florida. So I'm assuming, is this a hobby, guys? Are you guys looking just for extra cash? I say guys, ladies and gentlemen, extra cash, or are you just looking to maybe make a hobby a full-time gig? Is it just a passion? Well, what made you do what you're doing right now? Just asking. Wisconsin. Oh, we got some locals. Where's Canada? Is Canada in the building? Come on.
It's a holiday.
Canada.
So, I mean, once like Monday was Labor Day, right? So
Yeah.
people tend to take, it's the last official weekend of
Hobby.
summer, and people take the whole week off usually.
Florida. Roger, next week is our fourth giveaway, right? Second.
Yep.
Yeah, fourth laser giveaway. Do you want to go over that? What you'll be giving away?
Yeah, what I'm giving away is what you see running right here down in the shop. It's an Ortur H10, 10-watt laser. It has a 300 millimeter square work area, and it will come to you completely assembled along with the baseboard you see there with the layout grid on it and some mounting feet. It does have air assist capability, but if you look at the top of the head there, right above that little blue light, there's a spot there for a hose for air assist. But when this got sent to me, air assist and the pump did not come with it. But you're more than welcome to add that on, whoever wins it. You'll need to be within the continental United States if you win it, and I'll ship it for free. If you are elsewhere, you will need to pick up the tab for the shipping.
Now, remember, in order to be eligible for any of our giveaways, I'm not sharing it, so I'll be fair and share. You have to like every single one of our channels. You have to subscribe to every single one of our you have to subscribe to every single one of our channels. You have to like at least one video on one of our channels. You have to comment on at least one video on one of our channels. And you have to share at least one video. That's all you got to do. It's not going to cost you a dime, and you could get a laser that you've been wanting for a long time. So
it's simple bribery.
So Steve's been threatening of giving away maybe something for Canadian audience.
So I would have. I've been so busy this past week and next week too. So, but I will. Yeah, we've got somebody.
Ken says, I'm from Quebec, Canada. See.
So is your wife's from Quebec too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got.
I don't know where Farnham is in Quebec.
Big fan of AndyBird's. Have used his advice on many occasions. My business has grown as well as YouTube channel. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
It's a hobby right now, but I like to make it a business. I had enough of working for a living. What do they say?
Yeah.
Some people work 80 hours a week for themselves, so they don't have to work 40 hours a week for someone else.
That's a true statement.
That's painfully profound. That's how I've been this past couple of weeks.
I put in more hours now than before I retired.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't know what happened there.
Can't stay on today. Good luck, everyone. Keep on hard work and always improve. So next week is the live. So if you want a head start, you want to go ahead and fulfill your obligations to be eligible. Of course you can. Although if you want to wait till next week, that's fine as well. And we use the StreamYard draw app, so it's not rigged. It's legitimate on who gets them picked. You guys have any upcoming project you guys working on right now? Andy, why are you traveling? Are you work related or personal?
It's work related. I am in Dallas, Texas, at a conference. So, yeah.
Okay. Any upcoming projects for Halloween or any items you guys like to share or talk about?
I got a little creation. I did a video on this week. In fact, how to make these.
I just watched it in your Montport K40. Yeah.
These little, yeah. And I didn't know they were going to get that popular. I gave one to my great granddaughter, and well, next thing you know, I'm selling them.
John said, "I watched a lot of your videos, Andy." Well,
Roger, that's
sun and heat will make your hair grow, Roger.
Yeah, I'm about due for a haircut. There's not much left on top, but it's starting to get a little shaggy around the edges.
You just take it and wrap it around.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't do the Trump. Don't do the Trump.
Yeah, I'll do the comb over.
He's just making fun of you because you're not the silver fox like him. You know.
Yes. It's hard work. Natural highlights.
Right. Hey,
So
Roger,
I actually did a laser project for myself this week. I've been working on a bunch of smart sensors for my home automation.
Nice.
I'm putting thermometers and hydrometers, I guess is what a thing that measures humidity is called. Putting a bunch of those around, and I actually cut a little laser case to put them in. So
nice. Willow Tree Working says, Andy, you're just north of me. Enjoy the cool weather. It's been 105 for the past few weeks.
It was hot. Yes. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it was unseasonably hot for a while, but seems to cool down now. Hey, Roger, I was going to say that thing that you made for you say granddaughter?
Great-granddaughter. I'm that old.
Great-granddaughter. No, it's just interesting because I think it was a great thing, a real world example. Like you made something for a purpose, like for your personal, obviously for your great granddaughter, and then now you're selling them, right? So
yeah, that's happened with a lot of things. Sometimes the disadvantage, but
I get that question. I get the question all the time. So that's why I pointed out is like, I think the number one question that I get, the absolute number one question that I get is, I don't know what to make to sell. That's the number one question. Everybody
make things that are useful to you and they'll be useful to someone else, right?
Yeah, not all the time, but in a lot of cases, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's a great example of just like you made something for a loved one, and you obviously shared it somehow with the world, and selling a few
cutouts. You know what I saw someone sharing on YouTube, and he said that he was making hundreds of dollars a month. 2-inch circles with a 3/4-inch hole in the center, because people don't have cedar closets anymore. So the hole is big enough to go over a coat hanger. So if you have a really nice suit, a really nice wool jacket, a coat, you hang it over the hanger. You hang it so it's supposed to keep like a deodorizer, like a odor absorbent, and
so
also
just
keep moth
cedar.
and all that away. Yeah,
yeah.
But he was literally selling like a bag of 10 for like $74. And they were selling like this. And he was like, here, look. And there's a couple people who are watching. There's a couple YouTubers, and all they do is they watch big stores, the woodworkers, and they say, look, this store is selling a ton of these, and all of a sudden you see 4 stores selling the same. So do this while it's hot. And he was literally just taking a drill and he was just making a bunch of holes. And then he had a belt sander, and he was just kind of like making it look a little presentable, but he kept it rough. It wasn't like it was, fancy looking. Didn't have a routed edge or anything. It was just pretty rough. And he was selling them.
I chuckle because I think it's fantastic. I think a lot of times overthinking is the problem, and it's simple things. I don't know. I'd love to know the story of how he stumbled upon that, like how he discovered that. Did he make one for himself, or what?
It was funny. We talked about people being younger, and it's this kid. I wouldn't actually mind inviting him to one of our lives one day. He looks probably 25, right? And the tools that he uses, they're like Craftsman tools, Ryobi, nothing super expensive. But for his age, he's making some pretty kick-ass things. It's a smaller channel, but I'm really impressed with some of his work, especially being a young age, because I give some of these kids a little hard time because I just think some of these kids are really soft. They're not kind of raised like us, so the fact that he's doing that's really cool. Hey guys, happy hump day. Happy to report I finally bought a CO2 laser. Hopefully I don't regret the purchase. Due to cost and bed size I wanted, I bought the Mindport 90 watt 28 by 20 bed with autofocus. I love the fact that they added autofocus.
I don't. Yeah. Well, the autofocus is basically a push button that comes down. I don't think you'll regret that purchase.
No.
Yeah, congrats, Nancy. That's awesome.
Just remember wherever you're putting it, make sure that it's temperature controlled, right? Because you don't want you don't want your CO2 to crack. So if it's in your garage or your basement, just make sure it's temperature controlled. But congratulations on your purchase.
Don't let it freeze. Put a bit of propylene glycol in with the water.
Just put out 8 lasers, cut Halloween jack-o'-lantern kit. Tried to get ahead of the game. I sold one so far, a bit early, but I hopefully sell some soon. Nice.
Yeah, I think that getting back to the cedar donuts, I think the problem is when you start looking for the big bang idea, right? It's like, how can I make something that's really awesome? And quite often it's the simple things, and you know, and I do it. I know Andy's has got many videos on doing this. It's just do something easy, right? Something that you might not make $100 on it, but you can make 50 of them in 10 minutes, right? And it's, you know, it can be good money just doing something really simple.
So if it's a bag of one bag costs $74. If he's selling hundreds, hundreds of bags,
and if all it is well, see, the problem is clearly, does this guy have a laser? Because you should be able to cut these things out.
That's how he's not. He's literally. I'm telling you.
So if he had a laser, his profit margin would go up to like 90% because a piece of cedar is like practically free.
Just think about it. He's literally holding a drill, and he's drilling it by hand with a you know, a drill bit like you'd make put a door in, you know. And that's why I said I give kids a hard time all the time, you know. But I was like, man, this kid, you know, I'm really impressed with his work ethic, and you know, and I almost want to ask him, is your father a carpenter? How did you, or you know, maybe not, maybe just learned completely on YouTube, but you know,
well, maybe he just learned out of necessity, right? It's like, you know, like Andy said, did he make it for himself, right? If you make it for yourself, sometimes it's like, man, my life sucks. I got to go fix this problem. And then somebody tends to look at it and go, oh, that's really cool. I mean, I've gotten lots of business doing that kind of thing. And the lesson I learned this week, incidentally, and kudos to Andy again, I was watching one of Andy's videos and he said, oh, just go to what is it? What's the store? The online thing?
Weight Watchers?
No, Kelly Clarkson is the endorser there. Starts with W.
You had to ask me. It's you buy furniture. Wayfair. There we go.
Wayfair, that's it. And it's like, because they have all kinds of just like smalls hanging on walls in pictures, and you know, things on coffee tables, and it's just, that's the best way. Hey, I thought you said Mr. Haskett wasn't going to be here today, Roger.
Oh, he made it.
Willowworking said, Andy, when are you gonna put out? Oops, hold on.
Sorry.
When are you gonna put out some videos on the Thunder? Such a great machine to sit in the shadows.
Really? Well, it's crazy. It's probably my most used machine, and I'd make the least amount of videos about it. I don't know why. I've always been a CNC router first channel, and that's not intentional. I mean, it's just kind of the direction I've gone. And
see, that's interesting because my most used machine is my CNC, and I've only made a handful of videos on CNC stuff.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't know if people are familiar with my main physical product. It's the LED lanterns.
No.
So they're laser cut box joints, and we sell them. I say we because it's really my wife and I's side hustle. Let's say she's in on it as well, and So I don't know if I can. I don't know how I'm for being my life is on the internet. I don't know how to share a picture. but I'll get a picture one of these weeks, or you can go and check out. I've got them. Got them on my channel. I've done a couple videos on them, but yeah. So the Thunder, really, that's why we got it. We produce, like, it cuts lanterns for us. That's what it does.
Nice.
So
Jack in the shop said I have 3 3D printers, 2 fiber lasers, 2 CO2s, 2 diodes, 2 CNCs, a CNC plasma. I want one. And
so do I.
I got my son interested in any of them. And I can't get my son interested in any of them. Yeah. See, that's why I'm giving these.
I don't know. It's hard not to be interested in a plasma cutter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want the Wazer. Is that the maybe I'm saying it wrong.
yeah, the
Wazer.
Wazer. I've heard of the Wazer.
It's a smaller footprint, but it's the water jet one.
The water jet. So just my I know someone that has one, and they haven't said positive things about it.
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing I heard is when they changed the price on it and they upped the price, and they're so small that people were kind of like, "Nah, you killed it."
Yeah, it's a great concept. You have a desk water jet. I mean, that's just mind blowing, really. But yeah.
To me, like in Chicago and having a good following in California and being Mexican, lowriders is a big thing, right? So you take these old cars, Impalas, Novas, all these old cars, and like the casings that's around the stereos, they're all plastic, right? They're from the 80s and 60s and 50s, you know? So when they take these moldings out that, you know, where the radio would go in, they crack. And nobody wants the crappy aftermarket Walmart edition that slides in there. So people have them made in metal. And then they either paint them to match or they just laser engrave them. So if you had a water jet like that, man, I could take that, cut out the template, then throw it on the laser and then do some crazy scrolling on it.
Make it out of stainless steel and do some fancy engraving on it.
Yes. It would be insane.
Just thinking here, could you do the same thing with a fiber laser?
Can't
100 watt. 100 watt.
It'd be tough to cut. It'd be tough to cut that. That's the least efficient way to cut something.
Yeah. You'd need at least 100 watt. Yeah.
I guess how thick is the material we're talking?
It's pretty thin, not super thick, you know. I'd say a 1/4 inch, you know.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you have to have at least a 1/4 inch because you have to have material to bite into too to put the graphic design. So
yeah,
I'd say around a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
The says Willow Works says my Willow Tree. I'm sorry. Says my biggest seller is no soliciting, video doorbell covers, laser cut on and birch, also fiberglass acrylic. Some simple to make, takes 3 minutes on the laser, $2 to ship. So good of a profit, man.
Nice.
Around me, they made that sign that said "fuck around and find out." And it went like nuts. I mean, everyone who had any way of making something was making it, and it still sells. You go on Facebook Marketplace, you sell it, and I think what it was is like that song "Try That in a Small Town" came out.
Yeah,
I live in a small town in Illinois, and it's like everyone stuck it out in front of their house. It was like if you didn't have it, you're not cool.
Yeah, some variation of signs always seems to be a pretty good opportunity. Most of what I do is signs, or I make a lot of Lamacoid stickers for guys and electricians. Actually, solar industry guys. They put warning signs everywhere. Like they use about 50 of these things every time they do an installation. So I make a lot of those.
So Steve joins us on the lives quite a bit. Everyone, I'm sure you're familiar with him. If you join our lives, it's like his wife just had some surgery, or she had some medical issues.
Little accident.
A little accident. So I'd ask you guys to take a moment of your time and say a quick prayer for Steve's wife for a speedy recovery. I appreciate that. Yeah, Will, she said, yeah, I stole Andy's idea on the lanterns. Mine are interlocking and not using finger joints.
Hey, it's not stealing. If If you, I mean, you put your own twist on it. Go for. That's what I encourage everybody to do. You know.
Yeah. So how I met Daniel was he had stole I forget his name. It'll come to me. But he had made this Christmas tree. So Daniel made his version of it, and I made my version of it. And every time I think it got a little better. But the top cut was 1 inch by 1 inch with 45 cut on each side. And I kept thinking, like, how am I going to keep my fingers? So a jig later, and we were good to go. But yeah, so nothing what's some friendly competition. There's also nothing wrong with pushing yourself, right?
Well, it's a big market too, right? It's
yeah. Water, what do you say? Wazer is the water jet $10,000. Yeah.
It seems a little pricey.
That's what I'm saying. I think like hands down, it's like awesome. Like I'm saying for the footprint, because most of the time those things are like humongous, right? You can't. I mean, unless you have a garage bay door, you probably couldn't even get in the building most of the time when you see those, right? So the fact that it fits through a standard door, it's super small. You're not making anything huge with it. But I just think the idea of being able to have that technology in a small footprint is awesome. But when they made it small and they raised the price, and I get COVID screwed everything up, it's kind of like, man, that's a pretty big price tag.
Yeah. What's the bed on it? Do we know? It's like this, like what?
I'll look it up really quick. It's not big. It's pretty small.
Maybe 12 by 20, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty small. Let's see, Wazer.
Yeah, some of those tools, like the Andy, have you seen the Carvera little CNC? It's quite pricey, but it does all kinds of things, but it's small, and it's like, holy cow, this thing's expensive.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm on their website. I'm trying to find the.
They keep pushing it to me on Instagram.
They're saying $219 a month if you finance it through them. Let's see. About it.
Yeah, it just came out of Kickstarter. Like
it is.
So it's got everything a big CNC has, but it's small.
12 by 18. It's small. I told you it was small.
The Wazer's 12 by 18.
Yeah, the cuttable area.
Yeah.
So it's small. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's.
Yeah, that's too small.
Yeah, this Carvera is. I'm looking at it right now, which is. Yeah, it's super tiny. So it has a tool changer. It had auto tool changer, auto leveling, built-in vacuum system, laser engraving, and more. But it looks
like it's only like a 12 by 12 kind of footprint. It's probably like a 30-18 size.
Let's see.
Carvera by M-A-K Maker, that one? Yeah, Jack says I have a 100-watt JTP laser, fiber laser. You'd be good going through a 1/4 inch. That's what I was saying. Probably at least 100-watt to do it. Yeah, I have a 60-watt. I could do it, but it would definitely be a decent amount of passes. Howdy. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I was watching it. I watch another no soliciting sign order coming. As you solicited a sale. How you like that one? How's everyone doing tonight? Doing good. You know, actually, second week in a row, I didn't even grab a beer. Are you drinking, Roger?
It's Ham's. I got a retro beer going here, so Ham's beer.
Man, she fell and broke her hip and twisted. Thanks, guys. Yeah, hope she feels better.
Wow, that's a lot of damage, man.
I'd put my twists on 8 different designs, but when I watched your video on them, I went cha-ching.
It's not stealing.
Okay, one more time to go back. Not obviously this isn't
sponsored
or anything, but this Carvera thing, I finally found the work area.
Okay.
36 centimeters by 24 centimeters.
All right, Steve.
So it's less than a foot in one direction and slightly more than a foot in the other direction.
So it's like maybe like 14 by, oh, right here, oh, inches. 14 by 9.
Yeah. That's tiny.
That is tiny.
There's not a lot you can do with that.
That's what I was saying. So like instrument panels, for your dash, for your stereo cluster, things like that. I could see.
Yeah, but most of that wouldn't fit in that thing.
12. The stereo cluster is only like.
Yeah. So this is general guidance for everybody. Whether you're buying a CNC or a laser, buy the biggest one you can afford.
Agreed.
So I've had relatively tiny lasers. Like you look at people who buy a Glowforge, and if you have a Glowforge, I'm not bashing you, but inevitably you're going to want to do something that's bigger than that. It took me about 3 months after I bought. I had this FSL Muse 3D, which served a purpose, but very quickly, most of the things I was doing were bigger than that, and I was trying to figure out how to make things in pieces. It was just a pain, right? So you just buy a bigger one if you can afford it. Buy the biggest one you can afford.
The only
Same
thing
with
that
CNCs.
the only thing I would say is that if you're buying a particular machine for a purpose, like I know Roger as well has designated machines that he uses for a purpose.
Yeah,
and it just
Right.
So if you have a jig set up, and that's the only time you're gonna turn that bad boy on, is when you're gonna run that one job 1,000 times. I could see it, So if I was making a license plate.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my Muse 3D.
Right.
But it again, like I bought it for a specific purpose. Then I tried to broaden out and realized it was a problem. So now it's back to
I hear what you're saying though.
Basically, shoved in a corner, and whenever I have something small to do, that's where it gets done.
Clayton said, I'm in need of another laser. My longer 10 watt laser just died. Well, you're in luck because Roger is about to do the giveaway next week. So maybe you'll be the winner.
Yep, giving away this here Ortur H10, 10 watt.
Oh, Modelo. Rick, I emailed you some pics of the lanterns.
I will give. I'm actually testing a laser right now, which I can't talk about yet, but I'll probably give that one away at some point. And it's a 10 watt diode laser. It's actually really nice, but I have no need of a 10 watt laser. So.
Well, this Ortur here, this H10 is definitely what you call entry level. It's well made. I mean, Ortur's a good brand, so it's not like junk or anything. But some of the features that are not on it, like it does have an air assist port built into it, but it did not come with air assist pump or the hose. Your work area is a little smaller than a lot of the open frame lasers, this being 300 by 300 millimeter, where a lot of them are 400 millimeter or a little larger. And it is 10 watt, but it's a great entry laser. And as you can see here, it works just fine.
Yep. Let's see here.
You notice Roger disappears every now and again. It's because he's sliding a more advanced piece of tile in there every time.
All right. You guys ready?
Oh, nice.
So let's see what else did he say. And,
is that did you have acrylic in there?
Whoops. That's what he sent me, and then one more. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah. It's like those turned out pretty cool.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that does look very nice.
Anodized aluminum, and
yeah, I think that looks cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Or you can just paint it, I guess, and then engrave the paint off.
Yeah, or you could mass tape it and then
Yeah, it'd be better anodized. I don't know what process is being used here, but if it's anodized, it'll survive the weather. So
yeah,
paint will eventually peel off.
I like the idea like around the Ring doorbell, because Ring is so drastically known. You could say that it fits exactly the Ring doorbell.
Yeah,
you could even have all the different models listed. I think that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a great product.
It's the laser guy,
If you really
in
don't
your-
want soliciting, just don't put a doorbell on your door.
I took mine off. I actually I have 2 wires hanging out the front side of my door right now. Andy, I have a Ring doorbell. Andy, in your last video, you said what we might find valuable isn't necessarily what our customers find valuable. In your experience, Andy, how can we incorporate both passion and problem solving? All right, I'm gonna hide this so you can see your face because it was hiding. It's all you, Andy.
Ooh, this is a tough one. But I think things that you're passionate about. Again, I think we talked last week about what your goals are. Your actions should follow that, like almost work backwards. It's tough, and this is different for everybody. But I think like let's just use Willow Tree for example in the face plates, the no soliciting sign faceplate, right? Like he might not have a passion for making faceplates, but maybe he had. Let's say that he had a guy knock on his door and he got an idea. And he's like, I'm going to solve this problem. Possibly, if they read the sign, but that's beside the point. But I've got an idea. I'm going to make a no soliciting sign. So he goes to the basement, right? He solves his own problem. His passion is, making things. And so that's kind of where just a simple example where those things intersect is real world problems. And some people are just passionate about making. Some people are passionate about making money, and they don't care what they're making. So it really just depends on your goals. So sometimes there's a couple train of thoughts. If you have a passion, most likely there's someone else in the world that has the same passion as you, and probably has the same problem or similar problem as you. And so then it's just about, finding them and, sharing, back to Roger's example of his acrylic light, there are other people that desire that. And the other thing I think that I said in that video, I don't know if it was before or after, is the problem, like when we talk about solving problems, we don't need to solve big problems. Like, I think people get so thought like, man, I've got to make a product that solves, like this massive thing. But a simple problem is someone needs a gift to give to somebody for a birthday, or someone needs, men are hard to buy for. So someone needs a Christmas present for their husband, like those are real problems that people pull their money out of their pockets for. Or it's, hey, that product makes me feel a certain way. I have to have that. Whether that's a problem that they have is like they have a need for that, and you fulfill that need. So I hope that helps. I think just thinking basic problems, and that's why we see the I make something for myself, I post it to the internet. Not every time, but sometimes those ideas take off because other people have that same need or same problem solved, right? So
yeah, I think it's important not to try and solve all the problems.
Right.
It's a learning process. So you build something, you go, okay, here's a list of things I would do better next time. You don't have to throw the thing away and do them now, right? You can fix one thing at a time. And
I would say, Andy, too, is sometimes your wallet and your head and your heart, they're not always on the same page.
I mean, in the software business, we were always talking about not trying to boil the ocean, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think
I heard someone say this, and I'm probably gonna hear this in a video. This is kind of a new. I was listening to a speaker today at the conference I'm at, and talking about a different topic than making stuff. But the idea of I think like having an idea, having a hypothesis, and then testing it to see if that was true or not. Like that's part of the process. A lot of times when people they set out to make something, it's like they're looking for either perfection or the perfect product or the perfect idea. And the only way that those things don't exist, but the only way that you'll get close is through iteration and learning as you go. And so you just have to start somewhere, you know?
Yeah,
You
like
always
those
need
lights
plans.
Roger, like the light Roger showed there. I've made those in the past too, and with those small bases, they tend not to cast a lot of power light wise. So what I learned from experimentation was if you engrave the top part of it deeper than the bottom part, you get even light across it, right? Or more even light, we'll say. The right answer, of course, is to do what I do now, which is just use high density LED lights, and you can see the things in the sun, right? But they're not going to be $20 either.
Flex brass acrylic. This one said, I have a Master 3 Roger that I use for engraving and painting canvases.
Yep, I also have a Laser Master 3 mortar.
Clayton said, I hope I win. There you go.
Next week.
Good night, gents. It's 1 a.m. 1:04 a.m. Have a good night. Thanks for joining, Noel. So late. Appreciate you. It says, and I make this, Wiltshire said, and I make the same in wood, and I paint gold, silver, and white for a bit less money. Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that was the point of what he says. Those non-soliciting signs are flex brass acrylic. It's cool. I think they look really good.
Oh yeah, so it's like Lamicoid material.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So Lamicoid is the stuff they make, like when they put somebody's name on an office door, and it's like gold, and then they engrave and the person's name shows up.
Okay.
Because it's black underneath. That's the stuff I make. I make all kinds of signs
Very
out
cool.
of for like electricians, because they just stick them on. It's like 16th inch material. It's really thin.
Yeah, so Wiltshire, so I make live edge furniture, not a huge customer base for that, but I also offset business with some that generate income to support tool purchase. So exactly what you said. There's going to be things you're passionate in, and there's going to be things you just do to make money. And at the end of the day, your passion is still, making something, but it's every single thing you make is not going to be heartfelt. Just being honest.
And when you have it as a side hustle, that's a good time to amp up your tools, right? Because you still have a paycheck somewhere, so you can build up your wonderful workshop, and then at some point your workshop has great tools, and you just say, okay, I'm not going to work today, and that's what I'm going to do.
NZ Printco says, I just picked up a Shipoko 3XXL. Should I have one with something more up to date?
There's nothing wrong with Shapokos. I almost bought one of these when I bought my first Onefinity.
So the 3, that was my first CNC. This exact one, Shapoko 3 XXL. It is, that model is, they're on the Shapoko 5 now. So the main thing with it, I started with it. I've made tens of thousands of dollars with that machine. I ran it way beyond what it was probably built for. The only problem I had was the Z-axis. They had this weird setup where it was basically a picture that your Z-axis being held in place with a set screw, and it constantly slipped on me. So they came out with an upgrade. So maybe maybe it has it. Maybe you can find it. I think it's called the HDZ. If you don't have one of those, it's well worth looking for one and finding one. It's a great upgrade. Rest of the machine, it was fine.
Yeah, they use belts on those, right? Rather than
Mm-hmm.
That was the one reason I didn't buy a Shapoko was that the Onefinity used ball screws, which just seemed to be way more robust.
So Nancy, I have to ask: Is Nancy Richards? Is Richards your husband's name, like your Nancy's Richards, or is Richards your last name? He's claiming to like, that's mine. That's my woman. Stay away from my woman.
Oh boy,
That's Richards Nancy. Is that what it is, or is it?
I think I'm going to step away for a bit.
Oh, my internet went out. Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear anything Rick said. My network is down.
It said, so now I can cut any color acrylic. Where would you recommend I buy acrylic without breaking the bank?
Well, if you have a plastic store or somewhere, a plastics distributor close by or within a reasonable distance, we happen to have one right across the river over here where you can buy different colors of acrylic and different thicknesses and different sizes. You can get 4x8 sheets if you want. That's one place.
I mean, it depends where you live, of course, but there is a big, I forget the name of it though. There's a big place in the US that sells acrylic really cheap.
I know the
I
Sign
found
Outlet one.
you can also, I mean, if you're buying a lot, you can buy it on like AliExpress, and you can get things that cost me, $8 or $10 here. You can buy for $1 on AliExpress.
Just make sure you get cast acrylic and not extruded.
Right.
Yeah, and my only suggestion would be not to buy bulk, to buy a small order first, and test it, make sure you like it before you go buy
that's always the best way.
$1,000 something you're like, I don't like it. So make sure you like it first before you go buy a big bulk. But if you do like to Roger and I, Sign Outlet is local. They're in Lisle. They sell everything you could ever imagine or want to dream of in that place. But there's a couple that sell that kind of stuff. Thanks in advance. Flexi brass acrylic looks like metal, but it's plastic. Yeah, I think it was sharp. I actually wrote that down, so I'm gonna take a look at that. I thought it was cool.
Me too.
Yeah, search for, it's commonly called Lamicoid is the generic name for all of that stuff. Lamicoid.
Lamicoid. Okay, I wrote it down.
Here.
All the tools I have came from income generated from starting my business in 2015, selling rustic tables. When I made money, I invested it back into the shop. Absolutely. There you go. That's easy way to be self-financed and not have to finance something. Yeah, see, I was right. By the way. You guys wanted to drop. Her last name's Calvo, so that is not her. That is Richard's Nancy. Nancy Houston.
I still don't want to know.
Nancy Houston Acrylics is a good source. Johnson Plastics, yeah, I know of Johnson Plastics.
Yeah, Johnson, that's the one I was thinking of.
It's a bit more pricey. See, to me, Johnson Plastics like JDS. It's like it's going to be a good quality, but you're going to pay a premium price. That's all I would say. Andy Bird, get yourself some flex brass. You'll love it.
All right. Where are you getting it from?
Yeah, there you go. Share the secret sauce.
Yeah. Is it local or online?
I'm Cuban American. Hubby is from U.S. Virgin Islands, and he's Richards.
You can't say St. Croix?
You got to watch out for those Richard guys. My name's Ricardo. Lamicoid. That's how you actually spell it?
I think so. Let me just verify that.
C-O-I-D.
Oh, I was
said it needs big sheets for weddings.
Yeah. Well, it's spelled both ways, either with a lama I or lama A.
All right, Willow Tree, you turn this on now, so now you need to share your secret. If you don't want
to, I will say on the Lamicoid before you jump, there's two different kinds. I have Lamicoid material that you can CNC and Lamicoid material that you can laser engrave. And trust me, the CNC stuff does not work on a laser. All you get is a big pile of goo.
Yeah. Interesting.
So any upcoming Halloween projects you guys are working on? I know, Andy, you're building a skeleton. Any progress on that?
No, still working on the file. Yeah, I'm planning on, hopefully it'll be out in a couple weeks. Hopefully I'll have it done in a couple weeks.
So just in time for Halloween.
What about Steve?
And it'll take 4 weeks to make it, right? So
yeah.
Steve and Roger, what about you guys? Anything you guys make anything special for Halloween?
I made quite a few signs for a local shop here that then they resell them. I always just do a big batch of them at once, and then I'm thinking about Christmas.
So my goal is to sell 200 of those jack-o'-lanterns at $7,000.
Have you
So-
set up an Etsy store yet?
No, I figured I'd set up an Etsy store if I got scared.
Or are you just gonna set it up on Marketplace?
To be honest with you, like I've had such good luck. I try to keep my personal page and Ricks2Cents Facebook page separate. I don't know if you guys,
Yeah,
but
I do the
everyone
same
just finds me, right? And it's and I'm like, man. And when it's like a manufacturer, I almost kind of feel if I'm actually like they're sending me a laser, I almost feel obligated to accept their friend request. You just sent me this $8,000 laser, and I'm gonna say no, denied. But then I don't post
deny
on Facebook under my Ricks2Cents because most groups won't allow you to post on a group's page as a professional page, right? It'll block you. So I post with my personal page, but then I get 3,000 friend requests, you know.
Yeah.
But so because of that, sometimes I won't accept their friend request, but then it makes them follow me. Then I'll go to Ricks2Cents and I'll request that they follow me there. So when I post on my personal page something I want to sell, I just post it public. It's gone. Like right away. There was a magnet fishing channel last night. It was live. And they brought up my page and was sharing it. And I got like orders on my magnet fishing Facebook page. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
That's
you
cool.
know, but that's that's the community though, right? That's the community for sure. YouTubers and everything else. So but my whole thing is like we always say, find your niche, you know, stay in your niche, stay in your lane, you know, don't try to do everything, because if you dilute yourself too much, you know, maybe you don't have a good customer base. But I don't think it's a bad idea to have promotional items or, you know, seasonal items. You know, you're not going to sell Halloween stuff in the middle of summer, but you know, you could bang out a ton of stuff like that. And if I could have $7,000 to $10,000 seasonal items every holiday, I think I'd be doing all right, right?
Yeah.
Look at these Halloween pop-up shops. They're only open for Halloween and they close.
Yeah.
You know. So
All those coffee shops that sell pumpkin spice coffee.
Right. One thing I think of a lot is like, okay, pumpkin, you know, these jack-o'-lanterns they work, right? It's a great product. It works. What else can we sell to someone that likes the jack-o'-lantern so that they can buy at the same time? You know, like, because I always think of like a product, like your product stack or your product mix. You got the jack-o'-lanterns, you know they work. Like, what are some things that we can also have? Everybody just like, and I do it too. Like, you stop at that one product, right?
Right.
But when you have a person, when you have a customer that is already pulling money out of their pocket, and maybe you have a $10 or $20 or $30 item behind it, that's the best time to sell them something else.
Okay, so you want to know what mine is, and I haven't made it yet, but I want to.
I mean, if you want to share it, yeah.
Corn. A candy corn. A wooden candy corn. And the kid, I'll give him credit, who I told you about the cedar donuts, he's made that candy corn. He even made one look like someone bit out of it. And I was like, this kid is awesome. I'd go buy this kid a beer, like if he was local to me. So I may invite him to our live, but he's got to be young. We could definitely be his father, put it that way.
Nice.
I make bookmarks with here you go with the flexi brass, and sometimes with birch, and include it as a free gift if the customer purchases a certain amount from my shop. Very cool.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's actually good stuff because you can get it very thin. Like you can even get, I've seen 1/32 inch. It's like foil.
Yeah, but to Andy's point is that every customer can bring you a customer, right? And then every customer can be upsold. They've already got their wallet out. Then they're like, oh, wait, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
So I'm proving a concept. I'm with my Halloween thing. Last year, I tested it. It sells, okay? So I'm going to run with it. But, you know, things can come out of fads, right? So I just
Yeah.
got to keep kind of thinking of those type of items. But I want to be able to build a $10,000 item for every holiday. I'm not there yet, but that's my goal. A $10,000 item every holiday. Jason ENZ for $3,000. Machine came with Carve Pro, a computer, a laser attachment, a dust collector, and a bunch of bits. Couldn't pass it up. I will look into the upgrade. Thanks, you guys.
This is quite the deal, actually.
Yeah, right. Because what's the software cost? $1,500.
Figure 1,000, but it also came with the computer to run it on, right? So
I don't think it'd be too bad. So he spends a few hundred for that upgrade. I think you did pretty good.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Tea lights with Halloween motive. Halloween motive. Yeah.
Well, that's the jack-o'-lanterns have tea lights in them, right?
Yep. Hello,
At least
Rick. I'm working on
do.
Christmas lantern template now on a candy corn. One is a candy corn. See what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was cool.
I've seen the candy corn like candy dishes, like a tray, like on a CNC router, a wooden tray that they carve a candy corn shape. Kind of looks like a Christmas tree, really. But you put candy in, it's like a candy dish. I've seen that done.
Nice. Yeah, that's
the candy corn has to be a U.S. obsession. You can get it here, but nobody actually buys it.
No, people buy it. Nobody really likes it. If you like candy corn, you're weird. Like you just like eating wax.
This is the stuff your aunt used to give you when you went to her house, right? The big dish with one big blob of candy corn all stuck together.
Okay, if you're in the comments, write in the comments if you really do truly like candy corn. I want to be honest.
It's just not a thing here. Wow, this is quite the unicorn you have going here, Roger.
So they'll probably sell more wooden ones. Candy corn is like eating fruitcake.
Yeah,
it's nasty. Yeah.
Yeah, fruitcake is just a really bad waste of rum.
Yeah, and she said, "Nope." Candy corn is disgusting candy. See,
well,
it makes
why
great
do they still make it then if nobody likes it?
It makes great decorations, but nobody likes it.
Old fruitcake.
Yeah,
I like candy corn and black jelly beans. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I like black jelly beans, but I don't care for candy corn.
I don't do
my
any
wife
black
likes black
thing.
jelly beans. Yeah. I shared the JPP link for you, Rick, to get the acrylic. Not you. Would you send me an email? Let me check really quick.
Yeah, wood is not good for an ashtray.
Well, it depends. So a lot of guys make, a lot of people make these boards where you have an ashtray for your cigar and a slot for your scotch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because, by the time ash comes off of a cigar, it's like mostly decomposed. So it's certainly not hot. And they make those out of walnut quite often. That's a good beginner CNC project, actually.
I'll share with you guys the link where he's getting the supplies from. I'll keep it. You are special. That's what my mom always tells me. Commented here with the link. Oh, he said commented? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No, I didn't either.
I assumed it was through an email. Yeah, I didn't see it in the comments. If you don't mind sharing the comments, go ahead and post it. Yeah, I didn't get an email from you either. You know what I wouldn't mind doing, and I might get some hate for this, but I say once in a while, like Harbor Freight having influences. I wouldn't mind doing some of their stuff. I think that like when you go to Harbor Freight and you're buying something, like you kind of know you're going to Harbor Freight, right? Like if you're going to go buy a dust collector, all right, You know what I mean? If
Doesn't
you're trying to
Harbor
buy the
Freight have-
Matco auto
Don't-
scan tool because it looks like a Matco, you know it's not a Matco, right? You do know that, right?
But doesn't Harbor Freight have like 10 tiers of quality? Like they do have
Oh
some
yeah,
high-end stuff,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, but they have some phenomenal stuff too. I think they're like industrial motors, right? So if you want like a motor, they make pretty cool stuff. I wouldn't mind doing that. Maybe links are hidden here. No, they should not be hidden. Go ahead and shoot me an email if you don't mind then. My bro calls me special, but not the good special. The TTD special. Emails as well. I think the chat doesn't allow comment links. It should. I don't have any reason not to.
Well, I've posted links in the comment feed.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I went this weekend to buy a sawhorse and left away with more. Yeah, Harbor Freight would do that to you.
That's what happens to me at Costco.
Nice one. No, I could definitely. Oh, here he goes. He sent an email. Let me refresh it.
Well, you'll have that.
Well, what you have is a lesson. You've accomplished the learning process, conquered it. You know at least one way not to make a chair now, or one way to make firewood, whichever you want.
Yeah,
So
perspective is
Johnson
everything.
Plastics.
So now take the wood that came out of the chair and figure out what to make that's smaller.
So if you go to Johnson Plastics, you can search for this.
Yeah, see, it's 0.02 inches. It's pretty thin.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to work with. And it cuts, because it's got a black core, you can actually cut it fairly easily with a diode laser.
So 12 by 24 is $19.69. 24 by 24 is $39.38. 24 by 48 is $78.75. And they have an 8 by 12 for $10.40. So
That's a
12
big,
by 20, $12 and $20.70.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I guess you were buying something for $9 and you can make 25 of them, right? Because they're only this big, right? The ring.
Yeah, the margin is pretty good on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's surprising. Like I would thought it'd be honestly more expensive than that, but I guess.
Yeah, what they actually do with it is they take some kind of plastic core, and you can get different colors in the center or in the back, and then they put a really, really thin layer of plastic on top of it. It's not paint; it's actually a piece of like it's laminated plastic. And
Nancy said, "I noticed people paying more for distressed wood versus petty wood. I'm on the hunt for pallet wood. You know what I do is I just buy cedar picket fences, and then I take a torch." And I go back and forth on it, back and forth on it, back and forth on it. And it just gives it that look. And if you stain, it's like, it makes this look. It almost looks like that wash look. See the black in it?
it's usually not too hard to find pallet wood, though.
I know, but then you got to pull it apart.
Well, yeah,
so
there's
cheap.
some maintenance,
Nails.
but you want distressed wood, right? That's exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You also have to be careful of what that pellet had on it.
Wow.
'Cause you could get some. You don't go to your local chemical company down there and try to get pellets there.
There you go. Look what he says. He sells a no soliciting sign for $19. That's the whole sheet. So whatever he makes after that is pure profit.
Well,
Yeah,
even if he has to make 2 to pay for the laser time and the electricity, right? And maybe a bit of labor, so 3 of them, but you're probably going to get 10 of them out of a sheet. So it's good money.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, but in Miami, they are on the side of the roads. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
You can do the environment a favor too.
Nails are an issue with pallet wood. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, I hate to dip out, but I just got a data warning on my phone.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, so
So you're going to get a
if you-
big bill in a few days.
yeah,
No, it's probably going to slow down after a certain cap out of a hotspot. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I think
you're
I've
right.
capped out.
Yeah.
So
Well, you
If-
got an
if-
hour in.
yeah. If anybody in the audience didn't know, I'm traveling on the road, and the local Holiday Inn wasn't doing it, so I jumped on my hotspot and it's crazy that cell networks. I guess someone knows how all this works, but our cell phones are faster than hotel internet. I don't know. Should I expect that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes you can get a better connection on the hotel room if they have a jack, or you can actually plug the
Oh
cable
yeah,
in.
hardwired.
Yeah,
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
nice.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
See you next
absolutely.
week.
I will see everyone next week.
Take care,
All right.
Andy.
All right.
On the laser
Thanks.
giveaway.
Laser giveaway. Be here next week. See ya.
There you go.
Ciao.
Take it easy. So pretty much burn it and then feel bad and and put the fire out, sand it, finish it, sell it, love it.
There you go.
If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see I actually did like from start to finish. I took the board, I sanded it, I burned it, I stained it, and I showed like here's orange. See how that brings out like the grains? Again, and if you didn't sand it at all and you just stained it, or you didn't sand it at all and you just left it, like it looks pretty cool. It looks totally different than if I would have just painted or stained it without burning it. Need to pay my ticket home to Canada. Uh-oh. What do you want to go back to Canada for? You're in Texas.
I could make a lot of enemies by telling you the answer to that question.
Yeah, I know what he's saying. What would I charge for an acrylic wedding sign if the back piece is $40? Gotta add the lettering to face plus my time engraving or cutting it. It feels like it's going to be at least $150 to $300 to $150 to $200.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably about right.
At least 3 times your material cost.
I did a video a while back about job estimation, and I created a spreadsheet for this that kind of helps with this, because people tend to, like, a lot of people say, oh, take the cost of the material and double it. Well, the cost of acrylic is pretty cheap, so are you going to make $3 on a project? Probably not, right? So
Right.
So there's machine time, there's just general shop time, there's your time. There's a lot of things add up. So it's not as simple as saying, okay, there's $40 of material, so I'm going to charge $80, because that's not going to make you any money.
Yeah, so I think that's fair. If you'd had $40 of material and you're charging $200, I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, you have to
Especially on
think
a
about
wedding item.
the investment you've made in growing a skill, right? That not a lot of people have. I mean, it seems like everybody's got a laser now, but you've developed a skill and you have to start paying for some of that time, right? So
people will tell you right away, because you want to build something, they go to Home Depot's website, they go there, and they'll look it up, and they're like, dude, it's like $8 of material. I'm like, yeah, then go buy the $2,000 laser. And
no, I know. So I've had people
else.
say this to me, like, oh, they sell this at Walmart for $8, and my general response is, you better hurry, they close at 9. Right?
I watched the video of the lanterns. Thanks, Clayton.
Yeah, I don't care what Walmart sells stuff for, because that's not why you came to me in the first place, right? You came because you wanted something handmade.
I take rusty nails from pallets and put them in a jar with vinegar, and then brush on the cedar fence boards and get different colors and make it look rustic. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey. That if that's not rustic, I don't know what is. You're using the nails actually.
That's the real rust.
There you go. I watched the video. It's just how you do. How did you find customers to pay? What? I watched the video. It's how you find a customer to pay it. my
Well,
understanding.
so you got to understand, customers are always going to look for a cheaper price, right? And this is a sad statement of our society these days, right? Can I get something cheaper? You can, and that's always the answer. Yeah, you can go to Walmart and get it. It's probably going to be garbage, but you can get it. So you have to convince people that. So first of all, don't call them customers, call them partners. Um, and this gets back to whether you're doing volume or whether you're doing one-offs. Because if you're working with somebody, you're basically in a partnership to make them happy, and they will pay for that. But they'll still complain. They'll always complain about the price.
But don't be afraid to walk away from money, because your
Right.
time is worth something. Like your
Yeah.
time, forget the machine, forget all that. While you're doing that, you're not spending time with your husband, your kids, your family, etc. Your time is worth something. So sometimes you got to walk away. And you know what? I've had people go get it done somewhere else, and it sucks. And guess what they do? They come
Yeah.
back.
And then they come back, right? If it's
Yeah. Yeah,
you have
I had
to. I mean, you have to ask. Like when people complain about the price, you have to ask them why they came to you, right? And they didn't
Right.
come to you because you were going to get Walmart pricing. They came to you because you were going to make something, and they were willing to pay that price. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Steven didn't know about our laser giveaway. He showed up.
Steve,
Yes.
yes, Roger is giving away a laser next week. Roger, you want to show it again?
Yeah. Oh, it's done. I can go down and get that off of there.
And I will give one away when I have some time to actually box one up. It's just been, the last few weeks has just been nuts.
Yeah, I haven't made any new videos. I've been really trying to pump out these lanterns. I know I got a small window of opportunity to make a shit ton of money. So I'm being honest. Like I just need to hustle.
Yeah.
I need to hustle these out. I got a small window. I also feel like I'm gonna have to make some free signs to show my skills. Of course, not that big. You know what? Then make signs for your business.
Yeah.
Or make signs in your own home. Something that you would personally use, and use it as an example. And the other thing too is that when you're making a sign, you're putting up your own home. It's just not a picture on your wood shop of this sign. You actually have it up on a nice painted wall. So it will sell better because the way you took the picture. Let's look at what you said, right? Exactly. Never undersell yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Nancy, use paddlewood to make larger laser engraved signs. Sure didn't think of that. Oh, there it is.
Of course, the paint isn't stripped off of it yet, but once that paint's stripped off, everything will be just jet black.
Nice. Says then it's no cost and you're not doing it for free for nothing. He's basically saying like if you paid zero for the material, your cost is. I would say even if you paid for the material, that the price that you were asking is fair. And you have to know your value.
Yeah.
I'm looking to buy one of your used laser engravings that you guys are not using. You don't have to buy one, Clayton. We're gonna give one away next week.
All you gotta do is win it.
Win it. So you get the winner chicken dinner. What can we say? Nancy, and guess what? If they do get it cheaper and then it looks horrible, you could say, hey man, I gave you that price because I had this amount of days to do it. You need this expedite. I need to put this in front of somebody else. I'm gonna have to charge you $25, $30 more. Sorry, it's a rush fee. You could do that too. You don't have to, but I'm just saying I've done that 100%. I had 100% have done that with shirts, because I made people shirts, and they go get it somewhere else and they wash it 3 times and it falls off, and I'm like, you come to my house wearing a shirt that's like 8 years old and it still looks good, and because now your aunt bought a Cricut, she's gonna make them cheaper. Congratulations, go ahead. It's a one-time wear. I'm gonna win one day. All right, Steve. You got next week.
Just get ready with the copy and paste.
Yes.
You'll be
Control
competing with
C,
Clayton.
Control V, copy paste.
Clayton's busily working on a bot to do all of his pasting for him.
xtool is selling the open gantry for $2.99. It has to be low wattage for $2.99.
It's probably a 20. I forget. I did look at it, but yeah, I think xtool is basically weaning themselves out of the open frame business.
If they're selling a 20-watt open laser for $300, I think that's a solid deal. That's pretty. I mean, wow. That's
even if it's a 10-watt, it's not a bad price.
Super cheap. That's super. You've been trying to get into laser grading. We keep saying a 20-watt laser is like a pretty good entry level. You know.
Yeah.
Real Hustlers Shop Talk Live. There you go. I love it. Shop Talk Live.
Let's see what xtool has.
You looking it up?
Yeah. xtool, by the way, has a they're getting ready to celebrate their 4th anniversary, so they're having big sales coming, big giveaways coming up. You didn't hear that from me. They asked me to do a video. Oh, this is a refurb. That's why it's $200.
Oh,
it's only a 5-watt though. Yeah, don't buy that.
Yeah, I don't know about no 5-watt.
Yeah, the 20. Well, that's a 20 with an enclosure. The basic 20. Why is it? There's a 10-watt one for $369. That's not terrible.
See, to me, a 10-watt, if you're doing that scratch paper like you were talking about.
Well, the 10-watt I have on the bench right now, I'm cutting 3mm plywood with it and doing pretty much anything. So it's good if, it's that earring business kind of laser, right? Now, it's going to be slower certainly than you could cut with like a 40-watt laser, but it's the engraving on it is amazing. It just because the beam size is so small. And I believe you'll find out what that laser is on the 15th, 17th, somewhere in there. It's coming up.
You got me curious, so I went and looked to see what that Artura H10 sells for with a 10-watt head.
Says Will True says, Rick, send you an email of a piece I cut on pallet using an 80-watt. Nancy, you'll have no problem with the 90-watt. Let me see if I bring it up.
Oh yeah, 90-watt won't have trouble.
There we go. Oh, looks really good. Let me zoom this in. Let me share my screen. It looks pretty, yeah. Looks good. You see it?
Yep. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and pallet wood's thick.
Yeah, it's usually it's somewhere between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, depending on what was on the pallet, right?
Nancy, I need to start charging a rush fee. I had an order for 20 shirts and at 24-hour turnaround time. I was sick with COVID, didn't have a few days later, but I did complete the order through a headache and fever. Yeah, so I do that with rush fees. I've had people call me on Halloween, like, hey, dude, I'm going to a party. Can you make me this shirt? Can you make me that shirt? Because with DTF, you can print a design, and they know that, right? Because they know you can print it. But it's like, here's the thing, man. Like, it's not the fact that I can make that shirt in 10 minutes. The point is, how much is a DTF printer? How much is a shaker? How much is the equipment? My exhaust? Like, do you have $25,000 laying around so you can go do something, make 10 minutes? Like, no, the machine's not free. You know what I mean? So, Nancy, if you're doing shirts, if there's a rush fee, just because they know you can make in that time, don't short yourself. Awesome. I'm so excited. I received the chiller Next Tuesday, laser arrives. Anyone want to help me set up Lightburn? It's easy. Monport auto detect.
Yeah, Lightburn's easy to set up.
Yeah, Monport auto detects. Boom, boom, boom. You're good to go. No real crazy. But if you get stuck, hey Steve, do you have a Monport as well?
It doesn't matter what the laser is.
No, I'm just asking. I was just asking.
I don't.
I have a Monport.
Yeah, Roger and I both have Monports, so no big deal. If you have problems, let us know. I have one bedroom that is my sublimation room, and the other room is laser room. Yeah, my basement is my wood shop, and then I have a room all the way up the top. That's I have a DTG printer, a DTF printer, and a sublimation printer. So I have an Epson F570. I've used it like 3 times. I thought honestly my wife would use it a ton, but not so much. I know Roger does a ton of sublimation though, right? Roger?
Yeah, we do a lot of it. Got an Epson 2720. I converted to sublimation. I got a Sawgrass SG1000, so I can do 13 by 19s. Then my heat press is a big Heat Press Nation signature 16 by 20, and yeah. In fact, I'm about ready to sell some old heat presses here.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to sell my DTG printer, and I held on to my DTG printer so long because DTG to me is like, it prints amazing. Like, I can print $100 bill on a shirt, and if you stick it next to it, the color matches. Like, it's amazing. So when DTF first came out, I was really skeptical. There was a lot of reason to be skeptical because there was issues. But yeah, F570, there you go. Yep. But so I'm getting ready to sell it, and I want to upgrade to a 4-head DTF printer. So I was supposed to get a new one from from a manufacturer. Steve made fun of me in a video not too long ago, but I had to cut my foundation, and I had to put a new door in. I had to redo my siding. I had to do all kinds of expensive things. Luckily, I'm good with these. And I did it, and they didn't send it. And I was like, what? He was like, I had a falling out when dude, we did this huge thing. I went to his business, like, because they're local to me. Well, I say local, but they're like 2 hours away. And he's in Florida, and his partner's in here in Chicago, and they had a falling out, all kinds of drama. And oh God. So yeah, anyways, I got a new door. So if anybody wants to send me a DTF printer, I can fit it in my house. I reinforced my stairs.
You should have just built a big garage out in the yard somewhere.
I have 3 garages.
Are they heated?
Yeah, yes. But remember, I own a farm, so they're full of all kinds of equipment. Nancy, you should be a guest one week. Oh, there you go, Nancy. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
I want to buy a 32 by 39 heat press Chinese brand. I would check out Heat Press Nation. And before you purchase it, I would suggest that you register for their coupons. And then I would also suggest that you go and add it in your shopping cart and don't buy it.
Yeah, because then you'll get an offer. Yeah, I know that too. That's how I got my tumbler press cheap.
So go there, sign up. Okay, and then here's the thing though. When you're buying a heat press, when you're looking on Amazon and you're looking at like a reputable brand, like I have probably the most expensive heat presses you can buy. So I wouldn't say to somebody, go buy a $3,500 to $4,000 heat press. But I'm not saying you have to do that. But what I am saying is that an $85 Amazon special versus, maybe $1,000 heat press. The difference is if you actually took a laser and you measured the temperature, they're inconsistent heats. Like the edges of that heat press, a lot of times actually don't have hardly any heat at all. It's just radiant heat from the centers, but the heating elements is not throughout the whole thing. So, my heat presses, they got Wi-Fi and you program them and they auto open and like, oh my God. but I didn't start with one of those. So, but when
I will say though that the auto open has got to be a really good feature, and that's my HPNs are like that auto open. Because sometimes I get distracted and I don't even hear the damn beeper.
Yeah, so you build a profile in it. So if I'm going to make whatever, I tell it 325 degrees, 22 seconds, and then you save this profile and you click on it and it just automatically knows based on that. And, it'll even count down the timer while it's heating up. You know what I mean? But You don't need all that. You know what I mean? The damn thing takes 25 minutes before you can use it because it's got to boot on the Wi-Fi, check for a firmware update. You know what I mean? But if you're pumping out 400, 500 shirts, maybe you do need to buy it.
So the answer to this question, Willow Tree, is about 12 minutes.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why anybody would go to Dartmouth on purpose, but it's actually a nice town. But it's gotten better. So Dartmouth is. I live where Dartmouth is on one side of the harbor, and Halifax is on the other side. And Dartmouth was where the working class used to live historically, but now a lot of fairly affluent people have discovered that real estate is really cheap there, so they've been buying up houses and restoring them. So it's becoming quite a nice area.
Canada's really crazy right now with real estate, right? I mean, just
prices are insane.
I just went and saw my wife's uncle's house. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a nice house, older home, but it's worth like 6 times the price would it be here. You know, it's like,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Like when I moved to the East Coast in 2019. There was in the entire province, there was about 3 houses for sale at any given time that were worth more than $1 million. Now there are hundreds that are worth, well, they're priced more than $1 million. Let's say that.
I couldn't remember the name, so I had to Google it. Hydronics. That's the heat presses I have. You know, they're awesome. You know, and they're I would say honestly, like I like a 16 by 20 heat press. I wouldn't get anything smaller than a 16 by 20. You start doing these 3Xs and 2X shirts, you're going to be screwed if you have a little heat press.
Well, even on a 1X shirt, you know, you can't do an 11 by 17 print on a XL shirt on a 15 by 15 heat press. It just doesn't do it. Yeah,
so a 16 by 20 or definitely not a 15 by 15, the little small rectangle, forget it. You know,
that's what I'm about to sell 3 of. I've got 3 of them sitting up here I don't even use anymore.
Yeah, the Hydronics, like I said, if you're making a lot of shirts, Hydronics is awesome. But like I said, you're paying for a lot of the bells and whistles, but the heat is consistent, like amazing. I even have the Hydronics 360 hat press. That's pretty dope too. Cousins live there. I'll be passing through to visit family. I bought one because I hate when you're in town. Money. Well, he said she bought a 15-inch press, the signature auto open with pressure. Yeah, see, the 15 is nice, but you're going to get in trouble sometimes when you're doing the bigger shirts. If you're only doing pockets or you're just doing the tops, but if you start doing full fronts or full backs, you're going to be in trouble.
Or if you're doing things other than shirts, we do other things too, but.
Yep. Yeah, if you're doing tile or things like that, then it's fine. What Nancy, what are you doing? DTF, DTG, what kind of shirts are you making? HTV?
I'm keeping one of our smaller presses because we do a lot of mouse pads.
Nancy, you may regret having your lives to talk about. This is exactly why we're here. At the end of the day, you can watch any one of our videos that like give you advice, but the whole idea for the Shop Talk Live is that you get an immediate response. And to be honest with you, trust me, when you're asking something, there's 2 people in the live who are not, but they're seeking that. And then probably you gave them a little courage to do it. And then even after the live, people watch the video and they're still learning from you because we don't have a script. Like a lot of times we talk before we go live and we shoot the shit or we talk about something we may mention in the beginning of the video, but the live takes a life of its own. It's really what you guys say. Hawaii's really expensive. Yeah. Single family homes over $1 million.
Yeah, when I was in Maui, well, now probably 5 or 6 years ago, I looked at it was a nice bungalow. It wasn't particularly big, and it was for sale, but it was for several $1 million. Apparently, anywhere you can see the ocean just triples the price, and
that's what they say. Hawaiian natives are priced out of paradise, right? They're priced out of their own home. Their own land.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody who's just got a regular job in Hawaii could afford to live there.
Right. Houses are always been a fortune in Canada. Lived in Toronto when I considered buying was never going to be a reality.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Toronto is always the exception. But I mean, the house I live in, I paid $475,000 for it. It's 3,700 square feet. Now it's worth probably $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I bought my house for like 350 something. It's worth like 726. I bought it 13 years ago. So, you know, it says, yep, that's why I need a bigger press. But, you know, at the end of the day, like we're saying, just start, right? So that's all. If that's all you had at the time, then, you know, but the point is that you always have to remember, like you were saying, like how much should you be charging for something, that you almost have to split that money 3 ways, right? One, because you need to put money in your own pocket. And then, you know, one goes to business and one goes to you just gonna immediately spend, because you need to upgrade your tools. You know, you have that third percentage, that cookie jar that's literally just for your heat press or your next upgrade. That's the way I do it, at least.
This has to be in Toronto or Vancouver,
Oh.
because in the 90s I bought a house for that was more than a half decent house, and it was $140,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sublimation, nice one.
Yep. Well, even with a small heat press, if you're doing something like, for example, if you're doing coasters, I like to bring up coasters. These are sublimated.
Hey,
and
Nancy.
if you're doing a bunch of little ones, that small press is fine for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And
I was just
also
talking
keep-
larger shirts, but you can definitely do items with it 100%. And if you're looking for a hookup, if you go to shirtspace.com, shirtspace.com is insane. You don't need a tax ID to purchase from them, and they're wholesale. Like I order Hanes beefy tees, like these guys will come to me, order 6XL and 3XL. So now you know I have bigger presses. They will literally come to me and say, "Hey Rick, can I buy 7 black shirts from you?" They don't even want anything on it. They just know if they went to Walmart, that'd be $32. You know what I mean? And they will literally pay just because they started wearing my shirts so often. They just want to wear those shirts on a regular basis. So shirtspace.com is a good, actually. And I won't lie, I'm an affiliate for them, but obviously that's where I make all my purchases from as well. So
This comment terrifies me.
Listen, you guys have taught me most of what I know.
We're sorry.
Welcome to the addiction.
Yeah.
Okay, it said price out of paradise. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
the Hawaii experience.
I drive my husband nuts watching your videos. He has no clue on anything laser or sublimation but he does help me with bigger orders. You know, I was at a friend's house and he was like, you know, if I didn't love my wife, I'd be worried. I said, why? He said, I turned on the TV. And there you are on YouTube on the TV. He goes, what the hell is Rick on the TV? And I said to her, you watch my YouTube videos? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, wow. Cool. Thanks.
He helps with the big orders. He puts the boxes in the car, takes them to the post office or to UPS.
Paid $58,000 for my house in Winnipeg, but that's because somebody wants to live in Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's in Winnipeg. That's why.
I can do 3X shirts, but you have to be creative with the work, for sure. For sure. And it'll help with the bigger press too if you're not getting ghosting, because sublimation can be tricky with ghosting on a big press. Nancy's husband is a YouTube widow like Canadian wives during hockey season.
Yeah, hockey widows.
Yeah.
I don't watch
YouTube,
hockey.
I get it. Nancy's husband's like a YouTube widow, meaning like
yes,
doesn't exist like Canadians during hockey season. I get it.
I don't watch hockey.
You don't watch hockey?
Not too often.
Oh man, you're not keeping up the stereotype.
Well, NFL season's starting up here, and my wife will become a football widow again for several months on Sundays and Thursdays and Mondays.
So for 10 years, we had the Bears Skyline Suite tickets. That was nice. And but yeah, not anymore. He walked in a little while ago, says, you're talking to 4 guys. I saw the YouTuber. He went to 5 guys and he ordered a burger, and he came out and he was showing off some glasses, and he says, "Hey, are you all right? You having a bad day?" She says, "Oh, it's Five Guys." He says, "Oh, work?" She says, "No, something outside of work." He goes, stop the video. You can't stop it when you're live. Yeah. No, I appreciate all. Like I said, everybody. That's the whole reason we do these videos. It's just I have a lot of fun on these videos. To be honest with you, like I
Yeah,
said, I
me
haven't
too.
been put out a lot of content lately. I've been really focusing on making things to sell for an income. But I made a point to do these lives with these guys because I enjoy it. It's cool. I have fun. And Steve could be making a ton more money on OnlyFans right now, but he's spending time with us.
I
So.
dedicate Wednesdays just for this. Yeah.
And Steve lives where some of the greatest hockey players grew up. Can't imagine saying Canadian, but don't watch hockey. But I'm from Texas.
When I lived in
don't watch
Ottawa, I
football.
used to watch this. I used to go to a couple of Senators games a year. But
All right, so I gotta ask you and be honest. Have you ever engraved a hockey puck?
a hockey puck?
Yes.
No.
What?
No one's asked.
Really?
And
I've
I
seen a ton of
I don't
people
have a
do it.
hockey puck.
I've seen a ton of people do them on YouTube.
Well, keep in mind I live in the one of two parts of Canada that don't get a whole lot of snow, right? So there's
But
no like
shipping
outdoor
Canada-
rinks or anything here. It's too warm.
Yeah, but shipping Canada to Canada would be a lot cheaper than from stateside or anywhere else. Roger taught me a lot of sublimation tips, and I've been watching him for years.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Nice. Steve taught me about engravings and cutting boards correctly.
Oh,
Nice.
well, thanks, but correctly is always a relative term.
If you don't watch or play hockey, you can't touch the puck.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you worded that carefully.
I have tried to engrave golf balls, and
My father-in-law gave me a ton of them to practice with. I haven't done it yet.
the problem is they're so like the material is so soft, the outer core or the outer skin of a golf ball that they just kind of turn to goo on the outside.
Okay, Steve. So now you have to address this stereotype. People assume in Canada you all wear these big giant Canadian Eskimo-looking jackets.
I don't have one of
10
those.
feet of snow.
I wear my shoes all winter. Yes. So when you lived, as it happens, and it was when we moved to this house, it was more good luck than good management. It turned out we moved to a place that is one of the most snow-free areas, right? And it's a function of living, 2 miles from the Atlantic Ocean and 50 miles from the Gulf Stream, which is just offshore. So it can snow here, but if it does snow, it usually melts the next day because it's always it's the ideal place if you like temperature that's slightly cooler than room temperature in the winter and slightly warmer than room temperature in the summer. It doesn't get really hot here in the summer either, for the same reason. The ocean is a big heat sink. So
yeah, when I lived in Canada, it was like, whoa.
You lived in Elliott Lake.
10 feet of snow. You know what I mean?
Elliott Lake is like northern Ontario, man. There's Eskimos about 10 miles from there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was like,
Well, now we have to call them indigenous people. They're not Eskimos anymore.
Yeah.
We're all about.
I went to a hockey game years ago and loved it. Mind you, I was in the Skybox open bar. Good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
See, when I was going to Senators games, I was usually in a box, and there's a big fridge there with an endless supply of beer and whatnot. So
I'm from Miami. 60 is freezing.
That's t-shirt weather up here in Illinois.
Yep. Nova Scotia is one of the most beautiful cities in Canada.
Well, technically it's a province, but I'm assuming there's some slapstick humor here. It is true that Halifax has about 80% of the population of the entire province. So the rest of it is pretty much just wilderness, right? Which is kind of where I live.
Crazy in the States now. like owning land is becoming something that people just don't have, right? Like you spit and land on a neighbor's yard, and like you drive down Route 59 if you're in Illinois, right? And you can go from one state to the other state, the one side state to the other side state. You just see cornfields and cornfields and cornfields and cornfields. Within, say 10 years, 5 years, it's, I'd say at least from 10 years on, like you almost don't see any farmland. Like you're starting to see like subdivision after subdivision after subdivision. It's like, hey guys, we need to eat our food.
Yeah, sooner or later you're gonna have to feed everybody. Right?
We need farms, and then all these mini plazas they're building by us. Like there's so many mini plazas now that they're just empty. Like, why do you keep building them? They're empty. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some pretty tight restrictions on where you can build here. So like you can't plunk a house in the middle of agricultural land. It's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah, if you got the cash, you got the land, and that's just the way it is. So it's crazy that there's so much land in Canada that's like not habited. Or is that the right way to say it? Like,
yeah, well, most of the population lives within 50 miles of the U.S. border, right? So, and the rest of it is just big empty space with polar bears and whatnot. So. Whatever's out there, a lot of trees, gold mines.
Remember that cartoon Chili Willy?
Yeah.
There you go.
He was a penguin, but wasn't he? He was a penguin.
Yeah,
right?
He was. Yeah.
Have to go down south for
that.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the orange.
See, this is bad, right? Like pretty soon you won't be able to buy a decent orange.
Yeah, all the orange clubs come subdivisions. Exactly. It's crazy.
The big problem is water, right? For agriculture, like California, like all the nut farmers, they use up all the water, right? So
Halifax didn't come through in a comment, but yes, the province is in general is beautiful.
It is pretty nice, and if you really want to see cool stuff, you have to go and see. Like we have the highest tides in the world, right? Like 40 feet is the tide.
Wow. So don't get stuck out when tide's coming in. Roger, you should know something about that, right?
They come in actually pretty quick, but it's great. Like my wife, she grew up on the coast, but where tides were like low tide was about 6 inches lower than high tide, right? And we went for a walk out on the mud during low tide, and you get out there and you go like, where's the water? Like it's gone, right? And at high tide the water's like up 30-40 feet, and all of a sudden it's splashing in the parking lot.
Nancy, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Roger is part-time Mexican.
Yeah. And here's kind of a effect on the last trip down there here 2 weeks ago. We were in a store, and that's where these shirts come from. And my wife you need this. So she's here, you need this.
Part-time Mexican.
with that kind of shirt, hopefully those words never come out of my wife's mouth.
With the hills in Halifax, good thing there's no snow. You'd never get out of anywhere with that snow.
Yeah, it's kind of like the hills down. Everything runs into the ocean, right into the bay. So it's kind of like San Francisco. Not quite that steep, but.
See, Nancy, if you ever come out to visit your tia, let us know, and maybe we can meet with you and do a live. That'd be pretty cool. Because Roger and I are in the Chicagoland area. We don't have farmland here in Hawaii. They rezoned and rebuilt homes. It's insane. That's why they were saying like the food's so expensive too, right? Because a lot of things are being brought in. It's crazy. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Well, Nancy, too, just to let you know, we do this, and obviously you may have seen in the past, but we invite our guests to come on. If that's ever an option that you'd like to do, let us know. Let us know. We can maybe make that happen.
Show us what you do.
Yeah, and share some of your stuff. That'd be cool. I've been interested in some of your signs. I got a lot of empty wall space here. I was actually thinking about making some signs and sticking them on the wall too. I got a really nice lineman sign I wouldn't mind putting in the back. Roger might appreciate that, but yeah, it's just been collecting dust upstairs in my room with all my printers. Yeah, food's expensive. Crazy. Priced out of paradise is what they say. But yeah. I gotta be a guest. I felt like a rock star for an HR. Yeah, well, no problem. We can have you. We only have 15 minutes left. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I'm
want
going
to jump on now?
I'm going to bring up the laser giveaway again here. So here it is. It's an Ortur H10, 10 watt. Comes with the baseboard and the mounts. And actually, I have the manual that came with it too. It'll come with it. And if you are in the continental United States, I will ship it to you for free. If you win it and you are outside of there, you'll just have to pick up the tab for shipping.
I know
And
you're
we're going to be giving this away next week.
Well, true. I knew you were a guest. I said we can make it happen, meaning again. Roger, sorry, didn't mean to step you.
No, I was done.
So remember, guys, the giveaway is next week. In order to be eligible to win the laser, you have to subscribe to every single one of our channels. You have to like at least one video. You have to comment on at least one video, and you have to share at least one video. For a free 99 laser, it's not much to ask. So, and of course, we do not limit the entries. So if you do the hashtag Shop Talk Live in our lives when we're doing that, you can have as many as you like. I'm gonna win this week.
Steve, we lost your audio there.
Sorry.
When I was a kid, my dad turned our backyard into a mini farm with chickens and all. In a typical house in Miami, we had most vegetables in our backyard. That's how my house is.
You had chickens in Miami?
Yeah.
They didn't like arrest you for like having a farm in the middle of the city?
Yeah, I have red apples, green apples, yellow apples, pears, plums, cherries, grapes, horseradish, rhubarb, berries, and then a full garden, like a 1/4 acre full garden, corn, lettuce, tomato, onions, radish, and a pumpkin patch, huge pumpkin patch. So we'll be selling real pumpkins and jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. So we'll see how we do this year.
You're going to go and use that as a template and spray paint that face on all the pumpkins?
No, generally my son, man, you can't keep him out. I'm like the fact that he's not right here or bugging me or like doing something. Everything I do, he wants to be right there with me doing it, which is great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but so when we set up the farm stand, man, I get him all geeked out. I get him a little nice Carhartt hat, little Carhartt, you know, get some bibs. He's out there, and he's a salesman. You want this one? How about that one? somebody sells. Go to stop, buy one pumpkin and leave him with 4. You know, but we use all the money and we use it for the Christmas gifts. So you know we're pretty good.
There you go. There's a request for a giveaway.
You know what? This which one is it? This gray one. It's weird, right? Because it's the opposite. This one right here. He was doing a laser giveaway, so I can talk to him. To be honest with these 2 fiber lasers, you know, I had agreed to do certain type of video content, and I fulfilled my obligations, and I think that they did well. And then they kind of sidebarred me and said, hey, can you do 5 more of this? Or can you do more of that, more of this? And I was kind of expecting a UV laser to come next. And I kind of stalled a little bit, and they do watch our lives. So eventually I will do it, and maybe we'll see if we can get an entry level. The problem is that a fiber laser is like, man, like at least $5,000. So, you know, so a lot of these are between $8,000 to $15,000. So we'd have to really pump up.
Tell all your friends to join the live. and subscribe to all our channels. When we all reach 100,000, then we can start giving away fiber lasers.
Yeah, if you win a fiber laser, you're liable to get a 1099 that comes with it for the IRS.
You know, so I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying we gotta grow a little bit. Almost every other house has chickens in their backyards. We have many Cubans. Yep.
You know, even though I live out I'm in the country, but we're still in the city limits, so therefore you can't have like chickens or anything like that. However, we have deer and coons and possums and groundhogs and turkeys and geese and all that kind of stuff, but you can't have chickens.
So in Texas, you can have farm animals in your backyard. You can designate property as agriculture and cheaper taxes. No restrictions in the city as most of the neighborhoods. I do want to rezone my property as agricultural because you can do all but a quarter acre. Consider the quarter acre as your living space and the rest is zone. And it legit is agricultural, but the problem is that you have to hire an attorney. And when you lower your taxes, all of a sudden you'll definitely notice the city all of a sudden doing an appraisal value and looking at your house, and you may have put a bullseye on your back, and maybe you don't save any money at all because all of a sudden so I don't know. I've been skeptical if I want to try it. I go to my cousin's house to pick up fresh farm eggs, best eggs around, 100%. 100%, especially if you bake.
If chickens are free range, they're going to be a lot better than the captive ones.
Cha-ching, Rick. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah.
Not yet. No Shop Talk Live yet.
That's next
My
week.
next purchase, I want a fiber laser. Not sure if I should buy a 30. So I would say either buy a 30 or you buy a 60. You never buy a 50. And the only reason I'm going to say that is a 30 is a phenomenal laser to do laser engraving, etching. A 60 watt is phenomenal laser to do removing. Like if you want to make nameplates, you know, something like if you want to cut metal, you want to or you want to make challenge coins, like you really want to come down to metal, you know, I would say that. And then if you're actually going to straight up cut metal to make things, then you want at least 100 watt. So I would say it's like 30, 60, 100. It just depends what you want to do. But those weird numbers in between, I think they're just odd numbers that like they try to be more budget friendly. But I think it's 30, 60, 100. That's really your go-to lasers when it comes to fiber. Now, you're talking about MOPA or not MOPA. The whole idea of like, and we've had this argument of like color consistency with any laser engraver. I wouldn't buy a laser because you were trying to do color. I don't care what kind of laser it is, because you may just run into problems being consistent and being able to reproduce those colors. Does that agree, guys? With the whole color,
especially with stainless.
MOPA's a little better than diode lasers are for color prediction, but it's still kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah. Sublimate it, get it the color, you're good to go.
Get out a good old fashioned paintbrush and just paint it.
There you go. City code ignores it because they also are Cuban and have them.
There you go.
See, where I live, like you're not supposed to have roosters, but they do it anyways. And it's like, dude, I always thought roosters only like made that call when it was like the sunrise or something. No,
they do it all the time.
There's somebody who lives behind me somewhere has a rooster, and hear them quite often.
Yeah, but nobody complains. Like every other house by me has one, so they have like, you know, it's always funny when you see somebody come with like a chicken or a rabbit, like, hey, your rabbits got loose or your chickens got loose. Everyone's just returning them to each other. But I wouldn't mind goats. That I wouldn't mind because they eat the grass. You could just move them around.
Sheep, if you want lawn everywhere, just get sheep.
Well, do you know O'Hare Airport in Chicago, Illinois? They fired all their landscapers, and they have sheep herders, or however the heck you call it, herders,
shepherds.
There you go, like Jesus, and they just move the goats around.
I have to jump the queue here a couple because Clack just chimed in, and I thought your neighbors were bees.
Yeah, so was that by your wife's choice? She ain't gonna be hitting on the girls next door.
We'll tell him I liked his video on that piano stool deal. That was kind of neat. That antique piano stool.
I'm gonna do this whole video on and go into kind of depth on what's the difference between a fiber laser, a UV laser, and a MOPA laser. But reality is, it's just the frequencies that it can do, and it has different effects on the material that's laser engraving.
Yeah.
That's a real simple, high-level answer, but it's probably a 45-minute explanation. With Nancy, that's actually the upcoming video I'll be doing, so I'll be on the lookout for that. I don't care for color. I just want a decent engraving on metal, nothing like the 3D coin. I would say then at least get a 30-watt laser. And if you, before you purchase one, send me an email and I can hook you up at least with some manufacturers direct. And I'm not saying one or the other. I think they're both great. But at least then you can at least see who's going to give you the better price or whatever. Here's my email. Send me an email. And like I said, I got the hookup on fiber lasers if you're ready to make that move. Then you can buy factory direct and probably get it for half the cost versus buying a fiber laser stateside. And the problem is that when you're buying something factory direct, a lot of times there's zero support. So I would say there's only 2 companies I know of that would be worth purchasing a laser that if you're not someone who's going to be able to hit the ground running or already technically knowledgeable, that not need assistance.
Yeah, so Mickey is challenged with consistent color. Yeah, it's a total crapshoot. But you might have trouble with a MOPA, but MOPAs are definitely better at getting colors right than diode lasers. I see most diode laser companies have kind of stopped pushing the color because it's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah. Damn, I should get a goat. My poor husband's been mowing the yard and it doesn't quit raining. Yeah.
You just need a robot mower. Man, I love mine.
So one time I went to a when I was like in 3rd grade, one of my cousin's birthday party, and they had us all playing with the goat. We're all happy. And then I had to come inside to go pee, and that goat was in the sink. Yeah, tacos later.
Yeah, goats eat anything.
Key West, I've been there. Yeah, there's chickens everywhere.
Yeah.
Same thing in the Virgin Islands.
Hawaii too has pigs and chickens running around everywhere.
I like not having neighbors. Thanks, Roger. It worked.
If you haven't seen the video of the piano stool, Victory build that antique piano stool, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The binge watch video on fiber lasers, I like and learn before I buy. 100% be an educated consumer. 100%.
Yeah. You'll have no trouble finding lots of videos on fiber lasers.
Yep. Just like I said, just make sure they're not pump and dump, and there's a not affiliate code associated, and that's why just someone's going to tell you honestly.
Well, you can still be honest and have an affiliate code, but
no, what I mean is they're not incentivized, to.
Yeah. Well, it's when people take money for reviews, right? And it's if you want to send me a laser, sure. If you want to make it easy for me to make a little money if I sell one for you, great. But
right,
I'm not gonna lie for you. So don't offer me money.
Right. By you clicking on an affiliate link doesn't cost you anymore, but gives a little kickback to the influencers.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying, but don't lie because you're trying to incentivize a purchase that you're making something out better than it really is. Fiber lasers take longer to learn than diode lasers. More variations.
Yeah, a little. I mean, the thing you have to understand about fiber lasers over diode lasers is just frequency, right? It's just a feature that diode lasers don't have.
Right, but to me, the learning curve is it's like learning a laser 3 different ways. Like you have a cutting pass, you have a cleaning pass, and you have a polish pass. So when you're dialing it in, it's just not cutting. You're dialing in 3 different passes. Yeah. So when you're doing blanks, you're gonna go through some blanks.
Yeah, the material tends to cost more certainly than you can't use cardboard.
Yeah. Years ago, I went to Dominican Republic to friends' parents' house. They bought a goat because I was visiting. I felt so bad because I don't like goat and I can't eat what's seeing anything breathing.
Yeah. Well, we call that shove on. And actually, that's common in Mexico.
Yep. They ended up eating after I left. Mopo has a Q pulses also.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, Mopa does. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got 1 minute left in the live, everyone. So if there's any last minute questions you want to ask us or just a shout out, let us know. Appreciate everyone joining the live. Had a good time today.
You still haven't managed to get Mr. Clack to come and spend some time with us?
Clack doesn't like us. He just listens to us in the background in his headphones. So
Yeah,
he knows.
And somewhere
make
towards
fun
the
of
end,
us.
he always drops a bomb in the chat, and it's got to come out one of these days.
Everybody, don't forget, next week, got the laser giveaway, the Ricks H10. Sure you tune in for that. And yes, you must be present to win.
Yeah, that P3 is a nice laser.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Rick's giving us a silent treatment here.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. My mic died.
You're kind of muffled. So
I'm on the mic from my laptop. Hey, thank you guys. We're at time now. It's 8:31. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us on the live. Appreciate all the comments and questions. And Nancy, you didn't over bombard us. You can ask them any questions all you want. This is what we're here for.
it's all about interactivity. So.
That's it. And remember, next week is the laser giveaway, so don't miss next week. You guys want to say anything?
Okay, well, we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, and hopefully we see you next week.
God bless everyone.
Ciao.